And we really do have a lot of wins going on right now, and it's not just a few people. It's a mass general amount of people in the team that are actually applying themselves, right? Because you have to do certain things in order to see the results that you want. So yeah, there's big momentum. Obviously, we have a few people on here. Nico crushing it. Just multiple deals in the pipeline. We've put a few Medicards in. And it's crazy. His ability to get quality leads is just astonishing, given the fact that he has no background in, like this kind of industry. So this just goes to show that, if you follow up, a proven system, things can start to happen for you. And we're looking at 5 figures for him, and he literally just started, right? So that's a massive win for Nico. With who else have we got? I mean, Natalie, I don't think she's on. I think she's literally wrapping up a deal right now. That is why she probably is not on this call. I don't think she's not on here. Just she's getting me in front of people. That's the key thing is leverage. And so, we're being kept busy, but it's great because we're able to use our expertise again to condense the time frame for people that are newer, people that are coming on board. So Natalie has multiple deals in the pipeline. I think she has someone that got approved for a K8. We're putting that in. She had me on multiple calls today. I think we got 2 or 3 of them interested. I think she's doing the paperwork with one of them right now. And they're all, again, quality. I could go on and on. I know I was speaking to Javis. He's not on this call. He has multiple deals. He put one in on Tuesday. He has 2 more on Thursday. He's ranking up to the next pay lane. You know what I mean? Bent is on fire with just the ability to, again, refer effectively. Myself and Ninorte, we have been working behind the scenes to get everything streamlined. I mean, the stuff that we have in place for you guys that we'll be revealing over the next couple of days to weeks, you will bring new people in here. They will plug in and start seeing results very, very fast. I'm looking at being able to get people to 6A. Literally, we're looking at 6 months, 6 months to a year max. People are going to be hitting these ranks, and the whole time making a lot of money as well as they go. So super excited. Simon, I mean, everyone on this call, like literally, Simon crushing it, doing presentations, getting leads. Tara and obviously Laurie on fire. You guys have obviously proven that you're serious and you take your goals and your dreams seriously. And so now you're starting to see the results of it. So I could go on and on and on. I'm sure there's more people here that want to talk as well, but it's just we're winning big. And now we have systems, again, that will make this whole process super simple, effective, condensed. You guys will start to see those results for yourselves. All right, so let's go. Let's keep pushing.
Let's go. The squad is on fire.
I missed a few people, but everyone on this call is crushing.
100%. So yeah, let's dive into this. My goal for this call is essentially, this is going to be some sort of a vaccination to prepare you guys for your future that you're going to experience with enagic. Again, we are going to be, I said this is going to be sort of painful, right? And if you go take a vaccine, if any of you guys have taken a vaccine, that first couple of days, once you get that shot, right, regardless of whether it's just a flu shot or you got the COVID shot, your arm's sore, you're not feeling that great because your body's getting used to essentially the virus being inside of you, right? So what I want to do is I want to prepare you guys for what's about to come. Right? Because essentially, even if maybe your business is flowing, everything is streamlined, everything is going well, there's going to be a point in time where you're going to experience these hurdles, right? So I want to make sure when that time comes, you're prepared and you're able to essentially create breakthroughs for yourself during that period of time. So let's dive into it. So like I mentioned earlier, in my experience, I've been in an enagic for it's almost 6 years now. And it's been a roller coaster of a journey. And so, like I said, With enagic, we have our three metrics. You have your leads, and there are two types of leads when it comes to enagic. There are inbound leads, which are essentially people who are reaching out to you wanting more information about the product or about the opportunity. And there are outbound leads, which is essentially you reaching out to people, right? So essentially, you need to have a list of both, right? And normally what happens is, and I experienced this in my journey, when I first got started, my mentor was like, listen, I need you to write a list. He was super old school, right? So he's like, get a pen and paper out. Let's go through your phone, right? We're going to write every contact in your phone. And I had the paper in front of me. I had my phone beside me, but I couldn't write names on the paper, right? I couldn't transfer the names on my phone onto this piece of paper. And the reason why is because there was my identity in myself, who I believed I was in relation to the people that I was communicating with. I believe there was a gap, right? Here I am, this person, I'm a musician, right? All of a sudden, I'm going to come to these people and I'm going to talk to them about water, right? No, that's not congruent with who I am. That's not congruent with my story, right? And so for me, I felt awkward, literally in my body. I held it. It was something physical that I couldn't, there were certain people that I couldn't talk to about this business, about this opportunity, right? And the reason why, first and foremost, is because I hadn't dealt with the issues within my self-image, right? And if you guys have been following us over the last 60 days, there was a call that we had with Brandon Brown where he mentions self-image. He talks about that how you view yourself, how you hold yourself. When you look at yourself in the mirror, who do you see, right? That's going to greatly impact the amount of leads you're able to generate. And the reason why I say that is because your energy transfers, right? I want to take things a little bit deeper here. I don't want to talk about skill set or talk about strategies. This is a little bit deeper here. We're going into the metaphysical. We're going a little bit deep here, right? Because the beliefs that we hold in our subconscious mind and even in our conscious mind, they transfer, right? So when you're talking to a prospect, when you're talking to someone and you might feel the urge like, oh, okay, this person could be a good fit for this business, or maybe this person could benefit from this product, right? And you don't take initiative to reach out to them, to talk to them about it, right? It's because there's ultimately a belief in you that, and this was for me, right? I can speak about myself. For me, it was I wasn't enough, right? This product in my mind seemed like a luxury product, which, as we all know in this community, this is not a luxury product. This product is going to be in every household. This product is a necessity, right? We're talking about health here. We're talking about longevity here, right? We're talking about quality of life, right? So this is a necessity for people, right? There was a news article that got put out recently talking about tap water and the contaminants in tap water and how it's getting worse, right? So people are looking for solutions. And when we get out of our own way and we're able to essentially present ourselves to people and just become a gateway, this will allow leads to come to us, right? And this is online as well as offline. A lot of the times what I see with people online is they have a difficult time sharing their story or posting about either their business or their life online. And a lot of the reason has to do with this, their identity, the identity that they've built within their ecosystem that they live in, right? And so essentially, there's a way for you to market products and services that's organic to who you are as an individual, right? So first and foremost, find out who you are. For me, I knew I was a musician, right? Which is why I can go to Josh Quay and as a musician and be like, hey, listen, I think I found something that could be a good fit. I'm not an expert in this, but me and you have a like-minded vision. And I believe this is something that could work, right? So I knew my identity. I knew who I was. I knew where I stood in relation to this product. I didn't have to pretend to be the expert, right? And with the power of the 595, you guys don't have to pretend to be the experts, right? And you guys should be comfortable and confident knowing that you are not the experts. You don't need to be in order to make money, right? That's the power of the system. You can be a complete amateur, and just by simply referring somebody, getting them on a call, you're able to make thousands of dollars in commissions, right? So self-image, powerful. If you want to work on your self-image, what I normally tell people is what you take in is what you put out, right? So a lot of the times, the podcasts that you're listening to, the people that you're surrounding yourselves with, the books that you're reading are ultimately going to influence your identity. And that's why these calls are so powerful, right? Because just by simply showing up on these calls, you can get more leads, right? And the reason why is because your identity is shifting. You're thinking you're more of a marketer. You're thinking you're a successful business person, right? And because of that, you're taking actions which are now attracting people into your life, right? So the first bottleneck, leads, whether it's you or your team, right? You want to find a way to guide them, help them develop their self-image, help them develop their self-identity, and understand that, listen, you don't need to become a water salesman. That's not what this is about, right? What this is about is taking people, giving people a portal to help them alleviate their pain, to help them alleviate their struggle. Whether this is the end all be all for you or not, right? This is an opportunity that you're leveraging, a vehicle that you're leveraging to help you get to ultimately where you want to go, right? So if that makes sense, first bottleneck is leads. How to get over that is managing your self-identity, because regardless of whether you're posting on social media or you're meeting strangers in real life, like Josh Quay, for example, just went on vacation, got back from vacation, and on vacation, he met a lead, right? Completely random. So there are people everywhere. And once you have leads in your business, you can have sales, right? So the next thing we want to talk about is our discovery calls, right? Because the process from leads to actually getting people on the phone, there's a bottleneck, right? Sometimes you have people reaching out and maybe they want to know more information. And in the process of them discovering more information, something happens, right? In the exchange, right? So a lot of the times, if there's a significant or a large majority of leads, but there's a lack of calls, the reason why is strictly a communication issue, right? And so a lot of the times, especially if you've been following us, our process is dialed in. We have scripts that we've given you guys that you guys can leverage to do two things. Number one is generate curiosity. Curiosity is the spice of life, right? If I were to come to you and be like, hey, listen, marry me right now. I think we're the greatest couple on the planet. You're going to look at me and be like, no, you're crazy. Like, I don't know you. Like, I want absolutely nothing to do with you, right? But if I came to you and there was an air of mystery and I presented myself in a way where it was like, not only did I catch your attention, but I got you curious as to who I was. And that could be based on my questions. That could be based on maybe just how I dressed, right? That could be based on things that happen in our conversation, right? You never know what's going to be the hooking point, but at all, you cannot not communicate, right? Well, my mentor told me that one time, and it baffled my mind. At all times, we're communicating. Okay, whether you choose to communicate or not, you are always saying something, right? And so the reason why I bring that up is even how we dress, how our mannerisms, whether our shoulders are up or we're slunched over, all of that plays a part in communication, right? And especially if we're online, if you're online, your videos, huge impact. The energy that you're bringing into your videos. Not only that, if you're in Messenger, how hard is it to communicate in Messenger? How many of you guys are actually in Messenger trying to sell people on buying a $5,000 or $10,000 machine? How many people are doing that right now, right? And to get people to trust you, right? To be confident in who you are and to be comfortable, there's a level of communication. You need to first and foremost match where they're at. You need to meet them where they're at, right? And a lot of what I do is about speaking to the hardwiring of the individual, right? So regardless of whether you're talking about the product, right? Or you're talking about the opportunity, there's going to be specific things, right? And they're pain points. They're going to be specific things that the individual is actually looking to alleviate. And until you uncover those things, it's going to be difficult for you to actually process the sale, right? And that's the reality. And for me, because I specialize in the business, I have a list of some traits that I look for in people, some individuals, regardless of how much income they're making or where they're at in life, right? If they are feeling any one of these things, I see it as my opportunity to speak to them directly and help them alleviate it. One thing can be boredom, right? Maybe they're bored, right? Bored of what they're doing at work. Maybe they need a call for adventure and they haven't experienced that. Maybe they're lonely. Maybe they have these ideas and these beliefs that they know to be true, but they haven't found a community of people to believe with them, right? Maybe they're worried. They're worried about their future. Maybe they feel unfulfilled, right? All these things play a part into speaking to the hardwiring of the individual, being able to communicate effectively. The reason why people want to spend $15,000 on a quad is because you've spoken to the hardwiring of that individual, right? You have found out specifically if this thing is actually something that can benefit them financially, right? Not even just financially, but also health-wise as well. And if it can, the only way you can do that is by speaking to the hardwiring, especially if you're in Messenger, right? Because this person can't see your face, they can't hear your voice, right? So when you, and I normally talk about the avatar, and I like to use myself. I always tell people, use yourself as an avatar. What was it that inspired you to get into enagic? What was it that led you to want to not only just have this product, but also build the business long term, right? On this call right now, we have 10 individuals, and every single one of you guys has planted your flag, right? Some people have been here for 6 months. Some people have been here for 1 year. Some people just got started. Some people have been here for 3 years, 5 years, right? We have so many people from so many different rank levels, from 6A2-6A3 to 1A, right? And so every single person here has planted the flag, but what was it that made you make that decision? And when you're able to speak to not just the circumstance, but the emotion, right? Because if you look at the list that I listed out, those are all emotions, right? Bored, lonely, worried, unfulfilled, right? Anxious, uncertain. Maybe they feel half awake. Maybe they're nervous, they're insecure, right? All these things play into speaking to the hardwiring of the individual. Now, obviously, I'll never offer a solution to something that to someone that I don't believe will actually benefit them. I believe that's wrong, right? That's taking advantage of people. But what I believe we have here, right? And for some people, like when we get on one-on-one terms, a lot of the times I like to shake people a little bit, and it's like, come on, like, do you know what you have at your fingertips? Like, this is the craziest thing ever, because in terms of commodities, we're in the fastest growing commodity in the world. Fresh water is becoming scarce, right? And we have a product that is able to help people not only just get fresh water, but they're able to get the best quality water on the planet. Not only that, when it comes to businesses, right? In terms of income, in terms of potential, right? This company, I have never seen a company pay out as much as they do ever, right? And in the way that they do, where you can have the newest person coming in earning the same amount of money as somebody who's been in the game for 5 years, 10 years. It's amazing. And you can have new people out earning people who've been in the game. It's just the craziest thing ever. I know Nico's on par for that. He's chasing that goal right now. But yeah, 100%. So when it comes to getting people on calls, if you're able to communicate your conviction, right? What was it that inspired you about this product, right? Everybody that's on this call, the reason why you're on here is because you're a visionary, right? This product, less than 2% of the population actually has this product in their hands. Every single one of you guys that are on this call owns this technology. So to me, you're a visionary. You can see the future. You can see the importance of what's going on, and you can see how this can actually impact the world, right? So because of that, sometimes in your space, people might not be able to understand what's going on in your head, right? And so that's where the communication comes in, right? If you have that conviction that regardless of what is going on in your environment, you know that you're certain, right? And certainty plays into the next part, but you know that you're certain that this is something that is going to be here for the long haul. This is something that's going to impact lives in a positive, beneficial way, right? Health-wise, as well as financially. That's where you're really going to start to see people getting on the phone with you. People are going to want to hear how they can purchase this machine. And it's literally just because of the hardwiring that's happening in your subconscious, right? So just to recap, bottleneck number 2, right, is essentially when you have a bunch of leads, but those people are not getting on calls, right? Those people are not actually hearing the opportunity. They might watch the videos, but for some reason they feel like they won't get on the phone with you, right? It's because of communication, right? You haven't spent enough time with our scripts. Everything is there, right? The process of how to take somebody who has no idea what you do, no idea who you are, and then have them become a raging fan of you, and then also want to be interested in buying this amazing technology, everything is there. Go through the scripts. If you have any questions on the communication aspects, why we say certain things, why we ask the questions that we ask, definitely give us a message, shoot a message out to your upline, shoot a message out to me or Josh, and we'll explain the things that are happening behind the scenes, because these fundamentals are what's going to set you up for success, right? We can be here, talk about strategies and the latest Facebook post that you can put up, but that's not ultimately what's going to help your business thrive 5 years down the road, right? I want to make sure that not only are you succeeding today, but you're also going to be here 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road. So,
hey, Lee,
yeah.
So sorry to interrupt. It looks like Carlos has been trying to get in. I don't know whether you see it. He's been trying to get in for a while.
Oh, really? Okay, I see him there right now.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for letting me know here. I'll also make you the host just in case that happens.
Yeah,
sure. Okay. Awesome. So last thing that we're going to be talking about, and then we'll turn this over for questions so that you guys can kind of pick our brains apart. The last bottleneck, which you guys technically don't have to deal with, but because you're in the process of the 595, it does impact your business, is the sales, right? Once you have somebody get on a call, the process that happens after has to do with one thing: your certainty and your belief, right? That's it. I mentioned certainty and belief earlier, right? Your certainty and belief, regardless of whether you're the one closing the call or not, right? Like, let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say I have a friend that I referred to Josh. Josh goes through, does the presentation. The guy says, hey, listen, this is great. I want a quad. I'm going to figure out some stuff. I'm going to think about it. My certainty and my belief that I carry over to my lead, that's my lead, right? Yes, Josh can deal with them. We can borrow and leverage the conviction and the certainty of other people, but that can only last so long, right? We have to, in ourselves, become certain and build the belief of the impact of what this company can do, right? The business of what this business can do for people, as well as what this product can do, right? If you've had a personal story, if you've been drinking the water for 6 months, a year, maybe 3 months, you have a story, right? It might, maybe because you have been used to it, or because it happened to you, you might downplay it. But that story can impact lives, as little as it is, right? I remember when I first got started in my business, my conviction about the product was what was selling, was getting me sales, right? I hadn't made $1 in this business. I had no idea whether this business was actually legit or not, but I knew that the product worked, right? But I hadn't made $1, right? And I'd been in this business for a year, right? But what I had seen was my parents drinking the water and what it can do for them, how their health transformed, right? What I'd seen was what it did for me, how as an athlete, I understand what happens when you drink a lot of coffee and you have that crash, when it's 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock and you want to take that nap because you were up early and you exerted a lot of energy, right? So for me, having Kangen water in my life gave me the opportunity to bypass all of that. Now, when it hits 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I'm like, yo, what's the next task that we want to get done? I'm out here. We're ready. Right. And it was my story. It was reviewing my story that allowed me to increase my certainty and my belief. And through that, I conveyed that in the process of the sale. When you're talking to somebody, especially after you've pitched them, especially after they've been pitched, they are the most frightened. Okay. And the reason why is because they know that they're about to part with something. They're about to give something away. Right. And regardless of how big or how small, the fact that they are giving something away, there's fear. It happens in the back of their mind. You might do the whole presentation. They might sign the paperwork. They might be super excited. But right when you're going to go process the unit, they tell you, I think I'm having second thoughts. I think I have second doubts. Right. So it is your certainty and your belief through this process that enagic is here to stay, that enagic and this machine is going to benefit you if you drink this water. This business will benefit you if you apply yourself, if you learn the skills that it takes to grow this thing. It's not something that's a get rich quick scheme, right? And if it was, a lot of you guys wouldn't be here, right? Because you would have made your millions and you would be out already, right? But the reason why you guys are on this call is you guys understand that it's not about that. It's about the skill sets that you guys are building, which are ultimately you can pass down to your team, right? That you can essentially impact the world with. And even if this is not the last project or the last opportunity that you jump on board with, the people that I have worked with have gone and take the information that I've shared. They've worked with other companies and they have been massively successful. And the reason why is because it's about the foundation. It's about the principles that we're teaching that allow you to take this business and thrive, right? So guys, I want to turn it over to you guys, give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions. A quick review. We spoke about the bottlenecks in your business. Within enagic, we know that there are 3 metrics that we live and breathe and die by, right? We have our leads. We have our calls, our discovery calls, where we talk about the product and the opportunity, and we have the actual closing of the sales, right? And so throughout your journey, you're going to discover, whether it's yourself or your team, that there's going to be bottlenecks. You might have a lot of leads, having a hard time getting people on calls. Maybe you're having a lot of calls, but you're having a hard time closing. Maybe you have no leads at all. We discussed how to overcome all of that. And so I want to turn the floor over to you guys, give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions. And then from there, we'll wrap things up, talk about some announcements that we have coming up, and then we'll kick things off and see you guys next week.
Targo, I have a question.
Yes. Tara, shoot.
Where can I find the archives of